I am so nauseous. Okay, anyways, let's look at a scenario where Brazil is gonna colonize like all of the Americas. First up, Brazil's South American enemy is obviously Venezuela. So we're just going to do this. So Brazil will start pushing on to Venezuela, as Brazil is one of the most strongest in terms of economy, land area, and all of the other bull crap. Anyways, I prefer you to do subtitles on because my voice is really deep now. Don't ask me why. Okay. Anyways, the city of Maracaibo, I think it's called Maracaibo, will get invaded and Venezuela will start crippling. But now Caracas is gone and all of the other capital suggestions are gone. So Venezuela is now crippled and done. Now let's just pretend this is French Guiana. Now we have these three countries over here. So most likely Brazil will just go ahead and annex them for further notice. French Guiana obviously dissolves in around 6 days. While Suriname, on the other hand, this is a time lapse, with further notice will collapse in 19 days. In Guyana will collapse in around 13 days. Now, you may be wondering, why is Suriname lasting longer than Guyana? It's because Guyana has more borders and can counter offensive really, really quickly. Well, Suriname didn't have enough borders, so that's why they lasted 18 days. Now, anyways, the next one that Brazil might be doing or invading will be Uruguay. So they will start over here. This full time lapse of the dissolving of Uruguay is around 58 days. Anyways, up in this 50th day, we can see the gates of Montevideo being opened and eventually the Uruguayans being destroyed, leading in Uruguay's collapse. Now remember this, Brazil is allied with lots and lots and lots of South American countries, so this is most likely very unlikely to happen unless you're a Venezuelan and from these Guyana nations. Yeah, sorry. Okay, anyways, Colombia is next because Colombia has a lot of these stuff and the borders want them to be cleaner. The full time lapse is around 1 year and 287 days. In fact, 2 years and 287 days because of the mountains. So Brazil obviously ravages the mountains and destroys all of their coastline. Don't worry, this encirclement thing happens a lot. Now let's just pretend the mountain exists. It takes about 56 days to conquer them. Now Brazil is turning into a superpower. Next up, Brazil might invade the United Kingdom's territories over here. First up is the Sandwich Islands. And now the Falkland Islands. They take about 2 days to invade. Okay, now anyways, that's done with. Now Brazil's next target is Paraguay. This colonization takes about 1999 days before the border of Argentina expands and the encirclement of Paraguay starts. Now all of its borders are just Brazil, so Paraguay eventually collapses. Now we have the other contenders, which is Argentina and Peru. So they start off with Argentina, and the full collapsing is 19 days. And you may be wondering, why 19 days? It's because in the 12th day, Buenos Aires is captured. And 6 days after that, all of the north is captured, and that's where most people are. Oh shoot, I'm so sorry, Chile. And during this invasion, the Chileans are not happy with this. I think they are, but who cares? So they start to spark tensions. So Brazil said, when you know, you know. Don't worry about my battery. That always happens. So 2 days after Argentina loses the north, Argentina eventually collapses and the annexation of Chile starts. They eventually get this northern bit. What? Chile's at war? Okay, anyways. Chile eventually gets their surrendering, and now Ecuador is now being in focus. The Galapagos Islands are headed first. The Marcella and the coast. Then the islands. It takes about 8 days for them to actually collapse, because all of the main cities are around the coast. Now we only have 2 countries, Peru and Bolivia. Oh, obviously Peru. Peru takes about 105 days. First up, Brazil invades flatlands. And then later the coast, but it's really, really rocky. So they decide to connect and eventually encircle an area with around 2,000 men. Then Peru eventually collapses after the 108 days. Now it just leaves Bolivia, and Bolivia is not happy with this. Now Bolivia eventually gets a counter-strike over here, eventually absorbing all of Lake Titicaca. I think it's called that. But remember, Colombia was invaded, so Bolivia is not really happy. Anyways, Brazil eventually gets its lands back together, but not much to actually kill the Bolivian regime. Now Bolivia is just one tiny scrumptious ball, and who guessed it? A Bolivian coastline fail. Bolivia fails, and all of South America is... Trinidad and Tobago is not a South American country, dudes. It's North American. Anyways, that's it. Brazil has conquered all of South America, and in a span of around, I think, like 3 to 6 years. Now remember, there might be some support. Remember, Brazil is the 5th largest country, good in economy with around $2 trillion, and also has a really good army with around 51 million people. 51 million reserves or active personnel. Around 200 million people alone, which is half the South American population. And the 79th best political freedom. So yeah, that's what would happen. Remember, Brazil will get the most support from this country called Portugal, which we just did on what if Portugal got a regime and took over all the world and its colonies. Anyways, bye bye guys. Hope you liked the video.